Hi guys, today we're talking about sciatica. And what exactly is sciatica? So sciatica happens when a problem in your lower back is creating issues as far down as your foot. And this happens by way of the sciatic nerve. So that's where the name sciatica comes from. It's this big nerve called the sciatic nerve. And to see what it looks like here, I'll turn on all the nerves on the program, and you can see this really big yellow line here. This is the sciatic nerve. You've got one on each side, and it starts, essentially it starts as little fingers in the lower back of smaller nerves, but it gets pretty prominent as a sciatic nerve itself in the buttock region here. So if you take a look at all the muscles, this is your glute maximus. That's what forms the buttock there. So sciatica is a problem in the lower back affecting this nerve that can create pain down the leg. It can present as only low back pain, it can present as only leg pain, or it can present as both lower back pain and leg pain. And sometimes you have it on one side, sometimes you have it on the other side, and sometimes you can get it on both sides. And we can talk a little bit about how that happens as well. So what type of problem in the lumbar spine can cause sciatica? We're just going to get rid of all the extra things here, so you can just take a look at the lumbar spine. Most commonly, something that can cause sciatica would be called a disc bulge. And the discs are these little fluid-filled structures that are in between each of the vertebrae here in the lower back. And contrary to popular belief, they're not the shock absorbers. Actually, the vertebrae are the shock absorbers, and these guys are quite stiff. When you get problems or disruptions in these fibers, and you can see the fibers going in different directions on the discs here, when you get problems in there, you can have a bulging, and the bulging most of the time happens posteriorly and laterally. So it happens posteriorly and to the side. So what this means is usually that disc comes straight backwards, but a little bit out to one side. So this will only affect the nerves on that particular side. It looks like a mess here, but what you really need to focus on is just these single nerves coming out here. So if that bulge is pushing backwards and to the left, it's only going to affect the nerves on that left side. And different nerves from these different levels, they form together into that big sciatic nerve that I showed you earlier. It's going to look really complicated, but I'll turn the nerves back on. And you can see here's the big sciatic nerve. We'll go into the front, and you can see the nerve kind of starts. There's all these contributions from farther up in the spine, and this affects that sciatic nerve. So turn off the nerves again. I'll get the legs back into the equation here. Turn around to the back, again where that sciatic nerve is living. Here it is again. So you've got that disc in the lower back, that fluid-filled disc, that's had a disruption in those fibers that you saw, and it's pushing backwards into the sciatic nerve here, and that's creating some irritation. And depending on what's actually happening, you can get, like I said, just a lower back pain, you can get just a leg pain, and you can get lower back pain and leg pain together. The leg pain can go down as far as the foot, because the sciatic nerve continues as these other nerves here, and I won't get into naming them all that, but those nerves travel all the way down into the foot. So here we are, I'm just going to connect the dots for you, and you can see this nerve, it's going to split into two nerves here, come onto the plantar or bottom surface of the foot there. So that's how pain gets all the way down your back to your foot. Now, sciatic pain is usually a sharp kind of shooting pain. You can think of nerves as like electricity. So you might get a sharp pain that shoots down your leg like a lightning bolt. That's something that can be a nerve pain and could be a sciatic type pain. In chiropractic land, we have other words for sciatica, like a lumbar radiculopathy, but for layman's terms, sciatica works pretty well. Generally, if you say, sciatica, somebody might have some idea of what you're talking about. Maybe they think you have a pain in the leg. It's accurate enough. And if you come into the chiropractor's office saying that, we'll do our exam and we'll find out exactly what is causing that particular sciatica that you have. So hopefully this gives you a little background information on what sciatica is or what can cause it. There's many different causes of things that can give you pain in the legs, but this is essentially how sciatica works. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, guys. Thanks a lot.